I'd like to welcome everyone to the April 5th, 2022 Oldbridge Township Council meeting. I'd like to call it to order. Please stand for a pledge of allegiance. Please remain standing for a moment of silence and our prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As customary in this chamber, we stand for a moment to remember those who are protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad, for our first responders, for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, and this evening for all those who are suffering in Ukraine. A moment of silence, please. Our prayer, Mr. Paschetti.
Dear Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve thee in this chamber. Give us quiet minds and hearts that we may hear your voice. Help us to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give us strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right, and grant that we have a good conscience and soul at peace with thee and with one another. Amen.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Okay, all right. I do have an announcement from the clerk before we begin. There is a sign-up sheet on the desk in front of you here, and that's for anyone who wishes to speak. So if you wish to make a comment and speak, there's going to be right over there, there's a sheet for you to put your name and your information, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much, Kate. Roll call, please.
Councilperson DeCaro? Here.
Yes, swearing.
Councilperson-elect DeCaro. Councilperson De Palma?
Here.
Let the record reflect that Councilman Desai is absent. Councilman Garcia?
Present.
Councilwoman Dr. Greenberg-Belli? Absent. Councilperson Murphy?
Here.
Councilperson Paschetti?
Here.
Councilperson Walker? Here. Council President Sohar?
Here. And I would just like to say Dr. Greenberg-Belli will be here later on in the evening. She had an emergency surgery to perform at her animal hospital. She'll be here later.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the newspaper, and notice of the meeting has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the council will be held on April 5th, 2022 at 7:30 p.m.
Next will be our oath of office. Mrs. DeCaro.
Good evening, everyone. All right. Would you like to hold the Bible? All right, very good. If you'll repeat after me. Left hand, raise your right hand. And I'll put this here so you can follow along with your right. Okay? All right. I state your name.
I, Jill DeCaro,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of my position
perform all the duties of my position
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations, sir. Welcome aboard.
Good luck. Okay, next we will start with our presentations. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Tonight, I would like to acknowledge and recognize a very special person. Former mayor, always a mayor, Mayor Barbara Cannon. I would like to personally and publicly present a plaque on behalf of the mayor and the library board, honoring her for her service to the community regarding the Oldbridge Public Library. So please, Barbara, if you would join me up here at the podium. Barbara has dedicated 29 years of service to the library. Under Barbara's watch, and I'm going to say leadership, the Oldbridge Public Library has become and remains one of, if not the best public libraries in the county and in the state of New Jersey. Mayor Cannon has always supported and promoted the library and constantly tried to make it better. And Mayor Cannon, we can all honestly say you have made the library better. You have done a tremendous job. And just like you have made the town better when you served as mayor. As mayor, always a mayor, as I said, Barbara continues to serve her community. She currently serves on the planning board. So I am grateful, and I'm sure the residents of Oldbridge are very grateful for the contributions that you have made to our town. You have seen this town through some of its most difficult times. Barbara was the mayor during 9/11, one of the darkest days this town had ever seen. You took over a town that was in financial distress. You pretty much faced everything, and you faced it, I would say, with professionalism. Barbara, you've always been compassionate, but most of all, I think you've been dedicated to the Township of Oldbridge. And I believe, and I'm sure everybody knows, that, Mayor, it's always your fault. It's always the mayor's fault. So tonight I'm going to say a little, Barbara, you hired Mr. Shah. Yes. And Barbara, you gave me my first opportunity to serve the public in this community. I don't know if you remember, but I still have the paper you signed for me. So it's all your fault. And I thank you for the opportunity. You never know what would have happened if you never signed the paper, if you never hired Mr. Shah. We never know where we would be. But I'm thankful you did sign that paper for me, and I'm sure you're thankful that you hired Mr. Shah. So I just want to thank you, Barbara, for everything you've done for this town, and especially tonight as we recognize your service on the library board. At this time, we have some library board members, and we have the director of the library. Please come up and share. Barbara Cannon, and grateful appreciation for your leadership and dedicated service to the Oldbridge Township Library Board for 29 years service. Mayor Owen Henry and the library trustees. Thank you. Kevin, if you would like to hand the plaque.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Barbara, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Alan, thank you. It's all her fault. Please. Stay here. You want to say a few words? Sure. Thank you.
Yes, I just wanted to say a few things. First of all, I think I am a library person. I worked at the East Brunswick Library for 25 years, part of which was I was mayor in the afternoon and in the library in the morning. And the library is near and dear to my heart and always has been and always will be. I think it's probably one of the best services that the community offers that's supported by your taxpayer dollars. It offers something for everybody. And our library, I think, was really very innovative because way back when libraries were basically books and book groups and, sort of the traditional library services, our library was much more of a community center in that people would come in and suggest different things, like they wanted a book group on a particular, like science fiction, or they wanted a musical group to perform, or they had somebody in mind that would give a good lecture series. And the library staff and board were always open and receptive to trying it. Let's try it and see how it works. And often it was very successful. And the library has carried on that tradition today. Whatever you need, whatever you can think of, the library either has it or will find a way to help you get it. And it's always going to be near and dear to my heart. And not just because I'm not on the library board anymore. I've told Kevin, who is our president now, and our director, Alan Kornbauer, that I'm always available, and however I can help, I will always be there. And thank you for the honor. I really appreciate it.
We're honored. Stay here, man. Stay here. Well deserved, Barbara. And it's very fitting that I have a proclamation tonight in reference to the library. Whereas the public libraries are accessible and inclusive places that foster a sense of belonging and community. Public libraries offer opportunities for everyone to explore new worlds and become their best selves through access to books, information, data, technology, and educational programs. Oldbridge Public Library was constantly recognized as the best or one of the best public libraries in Middlesex County by the readers of the Home News Tribune. In addition to providing traditional services like books and research materials, Oldbridge Public Library is an innovative center for learning, recreation, and information 24/7. And the Oldbridge Public Library is an official U.S. State Department designated passport acceptance facility and offers passport photo service. For those needing a remote Wi-Fi service, for home or while traveling, the library also offers a limited number of mobile hotspots that can be borrowed. Public libraries strive to develop and maintain programs and collections that are as diverse as the population they serve and ensure equity of access for all. To adapt to our changing world, public libraries are expanding their resources and continuing to meet the needs of their patrons. Now, therefore, I, Owen Henry, Mayor of the Township of Oldbridge, Township Council, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, declare the week of April 3rd through April 9th, 2022, to be National Library Week in Oldbridge. During this week, I encourage all residents to visit the Oldbridge Public Library to access resources and services. So I'd like to present this to the library, and thank you for all you do. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. If you want to say anything, you're good? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Mayor Cannon. Next will be public hearing and for those ordinances for second reading. H1. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Presentation pertaining to outdoor dining. I'm rushing this along. Good evening. How are you tonight?
Good evening, Council. We come to you as described for outdoor dining ordinance. As you know, during COVID, we made some changes, some exceptions to allow our businesses to have outdoor dining. Tonight, Vina would like to make a short presentation about our intentions moving forward. And as we've developed the information that's required, we will have a new ordinance by the end of the year. But in the meantime, we would like to allow our businesses to continue their efforts to draw back their customers and remain with the outdoor dining. So Vina has a short presentation to give to the council. And we expect and hopefully we'll have your support. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. So as you may recall, we have an outdoor dining ordinance in place, Chapter 320. And in the beginning of 2020, when we were amidst the peak of the global pandemic, the Township Council had passed a resolution to suspend 2 sections of the outdoor dining. One was related to the 8-seat limitation, and the other was related to the fees associated. At that time, we came up with this entire temporary outdoor dining permitting process. And that summer, actually, between planning and zoning, we issued almost 40 permits. And they have been very successful. We haven't come across any major issues since then. At that time, we had extended the temporary outdoor dining permit until Labor Day. Seeing that the pandemic continued, we extended it by another 2 months. After which we extended again to a point where the suspension would be as long as the council feels that it's no longer required. Fast forward 2 years later, we have outdoor dining. It's been operating successfully. And a couple of weeks back, the mayor, business administrator had invited the planning zoning office to discuss what are the next steps and what we need to do. And it is our recommendation that we've already suspended these 2 sections. Let's continue with the suspension with the intent to help local businesses. We haven't come across any issues with now restaurants operating at full capacity. We do want to see what goes on in the next few months. At the end of fall, based on what we observe and any issues we see, we will come back to the council with any policy recommendations. Until then, we would want to continue with the suspension and help out local businesses. The only announcement I have is businesses that were already issued a permit last year, they don't have to do anything. They will be granted the extension. There were some businesses where the outdoor dining was more intensive, and they were informed that eventually they would have to go to the planning board and zoning board. They still have to pursue that. But until then, I think by the end of fall, we will have a better opportunity and better idea of what happens. And I feel most of the times when we could write these ordinances, policies, we really don't have the opportunity we have now. We want to see what are the after effects, because one, I don't know where the 8-seat limitation had. How did we come with that 8-seat limitation? So now we will see it and then come up with a new policy.
Any questions?
Yeah, does anyone on my left have a question? Mr. De Palma?
So for one, I think it's a great idea that we amend it, because it has been successful not only in our town, but towns all over our county and all over our state. Now, the only question I had is, and I thought I read something somewhere, does the state have a say in any of this, from like the health department or the county, for doing the outdoor dining, or is it exclusively for us? Because I thought I read like an article somewhere where the state was laxing something. I just want to make sure that.
I don't know about the state. We did have a conversation with the health department. As long as they are using their existing kitchen, which is approved for cooking, they don't have any objections to that. So I think we're good with the county, our health department, and I haven't heard anything about the state intervening to that. I think the outdoor dining is throughout the state in various locations, particularly in the cities. They're already there, so I'm not sure what state would intervene that, but we haven't heard it. And if they do come forward, then we'll deal with it. But right now, I think it's a good idea, just we extend it so we learn from the experience now, because now indoor is going to be full capacity, and if they can extend outdoor and we see, parking capacity and other issues that we have to deal with it, and then we'll come back to you with a recommendation of changes.
Okay. Anyone else on the left? Anyone on my right?
Madam President, I just want to add, in response to Mr. De Palma's comment, I mean, obviously, outdoor dining is already permitted in the town, so that the use isn't changing. And as far as the numbers, that's still a zoning issue. with respect to the operations of kitchens, that's the Department of Health, which in our instance, it's a county provision. So I think the point being is that resolution indicated that until it would stay in effect until council revoked it. But as Vina had indicated, now with restaurants presumably operating without limitations inside, having the outside dining will hopefully allow them to catch up for lost revenue the prior 2 years, and then provide an indication or a guidance for us going forward that we could revise the outdoor dining ordinance and have that in place, once it's completed. And I think it, from a legal perspective, there's no objection.
Anyone else? Mrs. Walker?
I just want to say it's a great idea because a lot of the businesses took a bad hurting during the pandemic, and I think this will help them. And you see it's very successful when you drive by over here like Ponte Vecchio, it's packed. And then we could reevaluate it, like you said, to see if there's any problems when everything is really up and running at full capacity. And a lot of people still feel uncomfortable, I think, eating inside, so it'll give them an opportunity to go outside, and I think it's a really good idea. And I think 8 limit seating is limited. That's only 2 tables, so it's really, I think it was made because some businesses are very small and can't hold that, but we could address that. I don't think we should punish other people and limit it to 8, so I think we should look at it in the fall.
And, our Office of Economic Development has a good relationship with our businesses, and so we're getting a true pulse, and some of them do not want to have out. They want to go inside now, 100 capacity, they're fine. Some want to continue to a combination of inside, outside, so we're getting good feedback from the businesses. So that's going to be important as we move forward.
Anyone else on my? Okay, I'll just end the comments by saying thank you for the presentation, and I think it's a great idea. Whether it's the Chamber of Commerce, the Business Alliance, my HOA Association Roundtable, we always have the businesses at the forefront of what we do. And I think as testimony, you'll see how many new businesses have come here to Oldbridge over the last few years. So despite the pandemic and all of the, trials and things that went with it, I think we have really tried to always put them in the forefront and make them thrive and make them be a success. And I think they have been. And this is another tool that we're giving them. Having run a diner for so many years, having the cooperation of the township is major. It really, really is. And a small business especially. So, I really think that this is great. We'll go through the summer. Like Mrs. Walker said, we'll look at the numbers and see as far as capacity. But thank you again. I think this is a very good idea. Thank you. Okay, now is public reading ordinances for second reading. The first one is H1, hearing performance bond release, Oak White LLC, AKA Calvary Christian School, B9000, L12.23. Good evening, Mrs. Shapiro. How are you?
Good evening, Council President. We're here tonight for a request for the release of a performance guarantee associated with an application that was in front of our planning board. It is called Oak White LLC, which is Calvary Christian School. It's the high school. This application is for the property located at 109 White Oak Lane. And really, the Calvary Christian Church is at 123, and 109 is used to house high school students. The maximum capacity of 100 was agreed to at the planning board stage. This application was really just coming in and restriping the parking lot to include regular spacing and handicap spaces, as well as some concrete walkways, a staircase, and a railing. So there was a small performance guarantee that was associated with this project in the amount of $5,172. In the form of a letter of credit was $4,654.80, and the cash portion was $517.20, the cash portion representing 10% of the total performance guarantee. The applicant actually came to this council in 2015 to request the release. Unfortunately, they didn't realize that they had to appear before you guys, and it was tabled at that meeting, and we hadn't heard from them until tonight. Just know that the bonded site improvements have all been completed, and that we look favorably on a release for the applicant. subject to payment of any outstanding escrow. And just know that there were no public improvements involved with the application, so there will be no posting of a maintenance guarantee. I have next to me Mr. Peter Clauser from Helburn and Pape, who is representing the Oak White LLC and is available to council for any comments.
Okay. Hello.
Peter Clauser, how do I turn it? Oh, there we go. Peter Clauser with the firm Halber and Pape on behalf of Oak White. I think maybe in 2015 they never called me. So this time the property owner reached out and said, "Can you help me with the paperwork?" And with your engineering department and your clerk, we were able to put it through. So I agree with the numbers and the outline that Ms. Shapiro provided, and I would just ask that the council act favorably on releasing the bond.
Okay, so you're comfortable with everything that we discussed and her numbers. Okay.
It's all correct.
All right, so anyone on my left have a question? Anyone on my right? Okay, seeing no hands, I'll ask for a motion.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Pasquini, second by Mr. De Palma. I'll now open it up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on this bond release? Seeing no hands, I will close public portion and ask for a roll call, please.
Councilperson DeCaro?
I'm going to be doing this a lot tonight, only because this is very new and I'm, just getting all the information, but I'm going to abstain on a lot of these because I just believe things are too important to, cast a vote one way or the other. So I'm just going to abstain. Thank you.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy? Yes. Councilperson Pescitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
5 yeas.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too, have a good evening.
6.
Okay, next will be H2, Ordinance of the Township of Oldbridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 10, Traffic, Section 10-19.7B of the Code of the Township of Oldbridge, -560 Greenwood Avenue. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I would like a motion for that, please.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Pescetti. Okay, second by Mr. De Palma. I'll now open it up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on this second reading? First reading, I'm sorry.
No, second.
Second, second reading. On the second reading. Okay, seeing no hands, I'll close the public portion and I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Councilperson DeCaro?
Abstain.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy? Yes. Councilperson Pescitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
That was 6 yeas.
Okay, next will be ordinances for first reading. Ordinance of the Township of Oldbridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Code of the Township of Oldbridge, specifically Chapter 169, Festivals, Mass Gathering. I'd like a motion.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Sketty, second by Mrs. Walker.
Roll call. Councilperson DeCaro?
Abstain.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy? Yes. Councilperson Pescitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
That was 6 yeses.
Okay. Next will be ordinance of the Township of Oldbridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 10, Traffic, Section 10-19.7B of the Code of the Township of Oldbridge, 229 Hillcrest, is it Avenue? Hillcrest Avenue. I need a motion.
Move it.
Okay.
I'll second.
Moved by Mrs. Walker and seconded by Mr. De Palma.
Roll call. Councilperson DeCaro?
I hate abstaining, but I have to abstain, sorry.
Councilperson DePalma.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy. Councilperson Pescitti.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
That's 6 yeas, and second reading for all the first reading ordinances will be April 26th, 2022.
Okay, thank you. Next one is FR3, Ordinance of the Township of Oldbridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the redevelopment plan for the intersection of Jake Brown Road and US Highway 9 and White Oak Lane and Jake Brown Road. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Okay. And second?
Second.
Second by Mr. DePalma. Okay, Mr. Fiscetti, Mr. DePalma.
Roll call?
Please. No. Not first reading.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Abstain.
Councilperson DePalma.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy. Councilperson Pescitti.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
That was 6 yeses, and
One abs-
second reading, right, 45
Yes,
days,
40.
correct? Right, okay, so this ordinance goes to the planning board first, so it will be at our first meeting in May.
Okay. All right. Next is FR4, Ordinance of the Township of Oldbridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 5, Administration of Government, Article 13, Department of Police, Section 5-109, Extra Duty Assignments. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay. Moved by Mr. DePalma and second by Mr. Pescetti.
Roll call, Councilperson DeCaro.
Abstain.
Councilperson DePalma.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy. Councilperson Pescitti.
Yes.
Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
6 yeses. This ordinance will be second read on April 26, 2022.
That finishes our first readings. Next will be our budget and the budget municipal budget presentation.
Oh, okay. For the record, Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli has entered the meeting at 8:04 PM.
Sorry I was late. I had surgery. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Good evening. Here we are again for the 11th budget that this administration has put forward. I don't want to delay the presentation, so I promise I will be very brief, but we all know how important this is. And it's the most important role we play as administration and as myself as mayor. I believe we have exceeded our goals that we set forth in maintaining and improving upon the services that we are responsible that we need to provide to the residents of our community. Again, I want to thank all our department heads, our finance staff for their help, and most of all for their support and hard work during this budget process, which is a year-round process as we continue to look for ways to improve and become more efficient in the way we deliver these services. We all know that the cost of doing business has increased dramatically over the last 2 years, and we faced that head-on. Council, you were exposed, and public who showed up to our budget workshops, where we went line by line, and dollar for dollar, and talked about in our budget both our revenues that the town receives, revenues the towns have to generate, and the appropriations, the money that we have to spend. Mr. Shah and his staff will get into this in detail in the presentation. And I want the council, I know the council knows, but I think a lot of times the residents don't know. But what we will be discussing tonight, and we are presenting, accounts for 19 cents of your tax dollar. 19 cents of every tax dollar paid to us is what we're going to be talking about tonight. 19 cents. So with that, I want to thank you all in advance, council, for your help, your support year-round, and sit back and enjoy the presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, Council President, Council members, and the citizen of Oldbridge. Council, thank you for giving us an opportunity to present the 2022 municipal budget. Before I start my presentations in detail of the budget, I think it's important that I introduce our management team so that you and the public know. And without their input and without their support, we wouldn't be able to present the budget that we have been presenting for many years. So with that, I want to recognize my right hand, literally right hand also, Dawn Swoboda, Acting Finance Director and Tax Collector. So she serves dual role. Nicole Shapiro, everybody knows Nicole, Township Engineer, Director of Community Development. And Venus Savant, our planner, a great planner and great addition to our team. Casey Lenning, Director of Public Works, is doing excellent job since recent appointment. Matt Mercurio, Director of Parks and Recreations. And also, I want to recognize Anna Fels, who is managing Silver Lining Center. Acting Chief Scott Gumpret and Captain Mandola, as well as Sergeant Herb Doctors in the police department. Matt McGavin, who just took over the construction office. Brian Enright, our tax assessor. Sue Brousse, our court administrator. And obviously, our addition on the clerk's office is Kate Hutchinson, our township clerk. She's doing a fine job since she has taken over the role. And Sherry Shamsuddin, our human resources manager, who has recently joined. So, I want to especially thank Dawn and Victoria Carey, in finance department, who is basically in charge of putting together budget documents, budget numbers. Vicky is my residence expert on the budget. With that, I'll start the 2022 municipal budget overview. The municipal budget represents 19% of the total tax rate and is the only portion of tax bill that township official can directly control. And that's critical to know, 19%. And I just want to add to that to advise the council that since 2013, the percentage of municipal tax, when you divide a $1 every dollar, is going down. In 2013, it was 21%. Municipal tax was 21% of the total tax collected. From 2014 to 2018, it's 20%. And from 2019 to 2022, it's now 19% of total tax paid by the residents of Oldbridge. This 19% covers the majority of municipal services that are provided to the residents of Township of Oldbridge, including public safety, police protection and emergency management, public works, road recycling and snow removal, health and senior services, parks and facilities, recreation programs, code enforcement and community development, engineering, planning, and zoning. The remaining portion of tax bill, 81%, funds the Oldbridge Public School, Oldbridge Public Library, Middlesex County Government, Middlesex County Open Space Program, and 4 fire districts within the township. That's Cheesequake, Lawrence Harbor, Medicine Park, and South Oldbridge. By statute, and this is by statute of New Jersey, the township collects the taxes for all the agencies that I listed. We are the collecting agency under the law. We collect the money, and township has no control over the agency's budget. Each agency prepares their own budget, they have their own approval process, and they establish the tax levy, which ultimately we collect, and we turn it over to them. Regardless if we collect it or not. Yes. So this is a graphical presentation of the total 2022 tax rate breakdown. Biggest slice is the school tax at 57%. Municipal tax is the only tax that township control at 19%. Township must collect and distribute to other agency with 100% of their respective levy amount. So that's an very critical distinctions that we have to deal with it. We have to, whether we collect or not, we must give them their 100% collected value or their levy. So that's why some of the part of this budget is very critical. Except for the municipal tax and the library tax, all other agencies are currently an estimate. We have done based on communication with agencies, but they are an estimate. 2022 municipal budget goals: maintain or improve core municipal services for citizens of Oldbridge, minimize tax impact and remain under statutory caps, continue to implement a sound and long-term financial plan for the township, identify potential areas of operational improvement and or cost savings for 2023 and 2024. So we look back, we look ahead when we prepare our budget to make sure that we don't fall into the trap of having a real serious problem in the future. For the past 4 years, one of our non-financial goals, and it's important to have, obviously when we prepare budget, money is a key issue, but we also have non-financial goal was to improve customer service. And thanks to the department efforts, the result has been positive. I think we have been able to reach to all the residents, as many as we can, and provide a very good customer service to them. We have changed how we deal with every residents that come to our windows in every department. Starting in 2021 and continuing in 2022, our focus is to improve communication between departments, the council, and the residents of Oldbridge. We have successfully utilized the website, social media to effectively communicate with the residents. I urge all residents to get the facts and information from Township Facebook page, Township website. I think they're going to get accurate information there. 2022 Municipal Budget Guideline. Under the state law, a municipality must pass its annual budget in order to spend money and or tax residents for that year. So we cannot start taxing residents or collecting tax money without council approving this budget. Strict municipal budget forms are prepared and submitted to the state. State oversight is performed by the Division of Local Government Services within the Department of Community Affairs. Budget adoption requires state approval, which we did receive approval to adopt budget tonight. So we do have an approval from the state, and we must get their approval before we recommend adoption of the budget. By law, municipal tax levy must equal appropriation, which is the spending part of the budget, less non-tax revenue. Projected non-tax revenue cannot exceed last year's actual non-tax revenue. Actual expenditure cannot exceed the budgeted amount. Transfer within a cap are only allowed in last 2 months of the year. We cannot anticipate our fund balance to add the budget to increase the appropriation. That's not permitted. Some other agencies are permitted under the law. Township is not. And that's why the budget documents, projections, and revenue projections are critical, because we are dealing with a lot of restriction we have. We cannot anticipate more than we collected last year. That's one of the major restrictions we have when we look at the revenue. Once budget is adopted, we must live by it except for emergencies. So we have to, all our expenditures, that projections, all the department operation must live within that guideline and that amount that sets in the budget. The state has a strict guideline for emergency appropriation under law. There are certain situation, health, safety, emergency, some of the legal issues that we deal with it are permitted to have an emergency appropriation. And if there is a need, we'll come forward to the council, we'll explain the reason, and the council will have to pass a resolution authorizing that. And then we have to file those emergency appropriation requests to the state for their approval. So it's not simply we decide we have an emergency and just add to the budget. There is a process to that too. 2022 municipal budget development process. It's an 8-month development process from start to finish. August 2021, memorandum and budget guidelines sent to department heads. September 2021, department budget request submitted to finance. October 2021 to February 2022, department budget review meetings held with the administration. We have more than one meeting. Sometimes we have 2 or 3 meetings with department to review the budget before we finalize it. February 2022, proposed municipal budget finalized and transmitted to council on February 22nd, 2022. Municipal budget introduction was done on February 22nd, 2022. And these are also, some of them are statutory guideline under the law, under the Faulkner Act government process that we are in. April 2022, municipal budget hearing tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed. March 2022, state aid certification was received on March 15, 2022. Council budget subcommittee meeting were held on March 7, March 15, and March 23, where we went over entire budget line by line. Every single line, every object code was discussed at the meetings. The state has, again, reviewed and approved our budget for adoption. If adopted tonight, the finance staff will start working on 2023 budget tomorrow. 2022 municipal budget summary. The 2022 proposed municipal budget calls for $60,215,650 in expenditures. Revenue includes $6,270,857 in energy tax receipts, $4,427,266 in the miscellaneous revenues, $1,915,000 in uniform construction and code enforcement fees, $375,000 in municipal court fines and costs, $125,000 in interest on investment and deposit, $1 million in receipt from delinquent taxes, and $35,994,402 as the amount to be raised by taxation. An anticipation of $9.5 million from fund balance will be required to bring 2022 budget into balance. This will leave $3,360,409.76 in cash fund balance to help with the potential emergency in 2022 and help stabilize taxes for 2023. The proposed municipal tax rate is estimated to be $1.01 in 2022, which reflects a tax increase of 0.016 over 2021. For an average home in Oldbridge assessed at $154,908, the proposed municipal tax increase would be $28 from $1,537 in 2021 to $1,565 in 2022. Municipal 2022 library budget summary. The municipal library purpose expenditure category is included as an appropriation in municipal budget. However, since 2011, the amount is deducted from the municipal tax levy in the calculation of amount to be raised by taxation for municipal purposes. The 2022 minimum state required funding for Oldbridge Public Library is $3,004,404, which reflects an increase of $147,844 over 2021. The associated tax rate is estimated to be 0.084 in 2022, which reflects an increase of 0.004 in the tax rate over 2021. For average home in Oldbridge assessed at $154,908, the municipal library tax increase would be $6 from $124 in 2021 to $130 in 2022. Under the statute, municipality or library board cannot decrease the library tax from the minimum required by the state. (2022) total budget summary, municipal and library. The total general appropriation for 2022 include municipal library purpose is $63,220,054 compared to $62,546,698 in 2021 budget as modified. This is a total budget increase of $673,356 or 1.8%. Library reflects 22% of the increase at $147,844. Township at 78%, $525,512. The proposed tax rate for both municipal and municipal library purpose for 2022 is therefore estimated to be $1.094, which reflects a tax increase of 0.02 cents over 2021. For an average home in Oldbridge assessed at $154,908, the proposed municipal and municipal library tax would be $34 from $1,661 in 2021 to $1,695 in 2022. Annual budget expenditure comparison from 2017 to 2022. We have always done 5 years comparison of all our budgets. This slide shows a breakdown of expenditure between salary and wages and other expenses and a library appropriation from 2017 to 2022. Other expenses in blue, salary and wages is in red, and library appropriation is tiny green at the bottom. Just want to highlight a couple of points. From increase in 2021 to 2022, police salary and wages was $822,954, or 6.1%, and total salary increases was $1,636,055. This portion includes salary increases as well as additional employee, which we'll detail in further down. The salary and wages expenditure category has increased by $1,636,055 or 6.93% from $23,624,496 in 2021 to $25,260,551 in 2022. In addition to contractual increases and minimum wage increases, the 2022 budget includes funding for 3 new full-time positions in the police department, 1 new police officer, dispatcher, and a video clerk. Over the last 10 years or more, we have tried to organically increase the number of officers in our police department. I believe they're at 104 or 105 now. 1 new full-time position in Department of Public Works, a laborer. We're trying to expand our public works force to service the town. 1 new full-time position in court enforcement, a zoning officer. 1 new full-time position split within the planning department and Department of Finance, an office assistant, and one new part-time position in the Division of Economic Development, administrative assistant. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I missed the one new additional position in Office of the Clerk, administrative assistant. Over the five years, the average increase in salary has been 15.49%. The 5-year salary total increase is 15.49%. Average increase over 5 years is 3.1%. CPI averaging is about 2.46% during that 5 years. The other operating expenses, expenditure category has increased by $136,191 from $18,856,844 in 2021 to $18,993,035 in 2022. The major increase under this expenditure category is health insurance at $92,061. While the health insurance premium remains the same as of 2021, for the renewal period of October 21 through September 22, we have to plan for potential increase during the last 3 months of the year. We've been fortunate to be able to hold the line on health insurance cost, although when we start negotiation with the health insurance carriers, we get hit with 20 to 30% increases. But we have sustained, negotiated, we do hard negotiations. And what we have done over the last several years is we have inclusively discussed the health insurance benefit with all of our bargaining unit. We do an annual meeting with them. And just before when we go into negotiation with health insurance, we advise them the status of that. That has positively helped to deal with the insurance carriers in deciding rates. The municipal debt service expenditure category has increased by $70,489 from $5,366,453 in 2021 to $5,436,942 in 2022. This increase is a result of amortization previously issued, and we recently issued bonds, 2022 bonds and notes. So we just issued $12.5 million bond sale, which took place on March 31st. It will be a further discussion in our capital presentation. The statutory expenditure category has increased by $317,716 from $5,468,313 in 2021 to $5,786,029 in 2022. The major increase under this expenditure category is the police and firemen retirement system, $209,261. While the rate increase is only 0.88%, the dollar amount increase is 6.5% due to the increase in additional officers and the contractual salary increases. So when the state calculates those increases, they take in account of all of those effects. The police and firemen retirement system 2022 rate was 33.25%. In 2021, rate was 32.37%. The deferred charges expenditure category has decreased by $86,523 from $202,549 in 2021 to $116,026 in 2022. The major decrease under this expenditure category is a contribution to ARENA at $94,523 decrease. Contribution to ARENA was $199,549 in 2021 due to the operating deficit in 2020 compared to $105,026 in 2022. As you know, most of the operation was suspended due to pandemic. The Capital Improvement Fund expenditure category has not been changed for 2022. The proposed budget anticipates the same level of funding as last year. The proposed capital budget for 2022 is expected to be $10,015,000 for curbing, drainage, facility, and road improvements, parks and playground improvements, replacement of equipment and vehicle for various department and division. This includes $5,315,000 in funding from Green Acres, Pro-Rata funds, American Rescue Plan, and Community Development Block Grants. Capital projects will be discussed in further detail in a capital presentation later on. The reserve for uncollected taxes expenditure category has increased by $20,000 from $3,490,000 in 2021 to $3,510,000 in 2022. This is a statutory non-spending appropriation. The actual tax collection rate for 2021 was 99.13%. The projected tax collection rate for 2022 is 98.13%. Earlier, I mentioned to you that we guarantee 100% payment to all other agencies. This is the requirement under the state statute that we must have a line for reserve for uncollected taxes. It is similar to private business where they do bad debts, reserve for bad debts. So it's the same idea. As recommended by rating agency and the Government Finance Officers Association, Township takes a conservative approach and projects 1% below the previous year's actual collection rate. We're still below recommended by rating agency. Many agency and other entity recommends 3% below the actual collection rate. But that would be a big impact on our budget. The 2020 expenditure pie chart breaks down the expenditure by category. Biggest slice is salary and wages at 39.96%. Obviously, we are the service industry, so we would have a high cost of labor to provide services. It's important to note, I want to highlight the employee salary and benefit comprise of 62.66% of the total expenditure in 2022 budget. This includes Social Security, pension, insurance. Next biggest is the operating expense at 30.04%. And we always keep an eye on our debt service, which is at 8.6%. It will be further discussed during the capital presentation, but rating agency generally looks at 10% or below as a reasonable line. This is our annual Sherwin-Williams color wheel. This will be available to review in detail on our website. Obviously, the biggest slice is public safety. That's a paramount. We must provide those public safety. Next largest is the insurance, includes health and liability insurance. 2022 revenues. Total municipal revenue, including municipal library tax levy, has increased by $673,356, or 1.08%, from $62,546,698 in 2021 to $63,220,054 in 2022. The energy tax receipt revenue category has not been changed in 2022. And we'll talk about that further down. The fund balance revenue category has been increased by $3,350,000 from $6,150,000 in 2021 to $9,500,000 for 2022. Uniform Construction Code fees revenue category has been increased by $240,000 from $1,675,000 in 2021 to $1,915,000 for 2022. Municipal court fines and cost revenue category has been decreased by $20,000 from $395,000 in 2021 to $375,000 for 2022. The interest on investment and deposit revenue category has been decreased by $25,000 from $150,000 in 2021 to $125,000 for 2022. We still anticipate an earned interest on our excess fund today. Many municipality basically has zero in this line item. And I think the efforts of the finance staff to make sure that we do generate interest income from all our funds has been able to provide that item in the area of revenue. The miscellaneous revenue category has been decreased by $1,861,326 from $6,288,592 in 2021 to $4,427,266 for 2022. The major decrease under this revenue category is CARES Act. CARES Act was used to reimburse COVID-related expenses. American Rescue Plan will be appropriated to capital projects. The ARP money is not in the budget. There are strict limitation by the federal government and state government on use of ARP money. So we're primarily using that for capital projects. And you'll hear that in our capital presentation. The receipt from delinquent tax revenue category has been decreased by $225,000 from $1,225,000 in 2021 to $1 million for 2022. The amount to be raised by taxation revenue category has been increased by $637,338 from $35,357,064 in 2021 to $35,994,402 for 2022. Even though there is an increase in the amount to be raised by taxation of 1.8%, the tax rate increase is only 1.61% due to increase in assessed value. The pie chart further breaks down the revenue. The largest pie is amount to be raised by taxation at the 56.94%. Second largest is fund balance at 15.03%. And the third largest pie is the energy tax receipt at 9.92%. It's important when we were looking at the our tax revenue versus our other revenues. We are one of the 7th or 8th town in Middlesex County, we look at the large town, and they have a higher taxation and lower other revenues. Energy tax receipt. Energy tax receipt has been flat since 2017. In fact, it is flat since 2011 and down by $2.5 million from 2008. State is using the revenue that was dedicated to municipalities for their own budget. So state is now taking money. At one time, if you all recall, in your utility bills, the electric and gas bill, there was an item says franchise and gross receipt tax. That was created for municipality because we're not allowed to tax the lines and property of utilities company. So that's why that tax was created, collected, and distributed directly to municipality. At some point, state decided to say, oh no, we'll collect all and we'll redistribute to all municipalities. Then slowly and gradually, they started taking a piece of their revenue for state revenues. And over the time they increase, municipality gets a lot less. And that's what I'm trying to explain here, that from 2008, we're down $2.5 million. This line has not gone up. Surplus anticipated. In 2017, we anticipated $6,750,000 and used the same amount in 2018. In 2019, we increased by $250,000 to $7 million and used the same amount in 2020. In 2021, due to the impact of pandemic, we decreased that revenue by $850,000 to $6,150,000 to maintain our cash fund balance. In 2022, due to most revenue being restored to pre-pandemic levels, we were able to anticipate more fund balance and still maintain our cash fund balance. The next slide will show in more detail the relationship between the fund balance and surplus. This slide was created because the surplus and fund balance was big issue of discussion. And I want to caution the council that this is where a structure imbalance starts if we don't pay attention, we don't keep an eye on it, and we don't see how we budget that. Because if we don't have an ability to regenerate, that will immediately impact our next year's budget. And we have done a major increase this year's budget, in this budget. The slide shows fund balance and surplus balances in the budget from 2017 to 2020-22. Blue represents the balance as of January 1st of each year. Red represents fund balance anticipated in the budget as surplus. Purple represents the remaining cash balance throughout the year. And green represents the balance as of December 31st of each year, which then carries over for the following year. So to look at the blue or the red or the blue colors and the purple colors, or at the end the green colors, that will confuse people, and we have to keep an eye on that and make sure that we have an ability to regenerate because this is a large sum. And we have seen in the past, I've been here 29 years, 1992, the township had to raise $6 million in tax because they basically ran out of pretty much all the funds. So I just caution the council that when they look at the number and say we have this, it's the real number is the purple number, what we have after we budget. Because as of January 1st, what we anticipate in the budget is considered already reduced. And this is a part of our long-term financial planning, and it is reflected in our bond rating. The rating agency pays specific attention to the fund balance when reviewing the rating. They like to see a steady increase over time and a sufficient cash fund balance. This, Bob, I don't know if you want to add to this fund balance. I know you had in the past talked about, I don't know if you have any opinion to share at this time.
I would just echo what you said. It's very important to replenish what we put into the budget. So as Himanshu says, we are using a large percentage of our surplus to go into the 22 budget. However, because of historical conservative budgeting, both with revenues and appropriations, we have generally been able to restore that. And that translates into strong bond ratings and reduced debt costs. So this is a very important slide because it does show that if you start seeing the, I'd say the blue columns being less than the green columns as time goes on, then you have a structural imbalance. It means you're using your saved money in order to pay for everyday expenses, and that's not something you want to do.
If you recall, those funds are critical. If you recall, during the Sandy and even in pandemic, we had sustained those costs that we needed and not had to go back to taxpayer with the large increases. So that, what we keep and how we budget is very critical. Uniform Construction Code fees. When anticipating the revenue, we look at the historical trend as well as projects approved by the planning and zoning boards and the redevelopment agencies. So we look at what's the historical trend is, what are we looking at in upcoming more construction projects. Municipal court, fines and cost. The last 2 years, court has been operating on a limited capacity and mostly remote. The restrictions are starting to be lifted, and we anticipate that collection will be restored. Court is in now full session, operating at full speed now. Interest on investment and deposit. I don't think I need to explain this slide much. Everybody's personal savings interest is down because interest rates took a sharp decline in 2020, in 2022 due to COVID, and it's reflected in our revenue projection in 2021 and 2022. And again, many towns budget zero for interest on investment. Some banks are starting to charge fees on funds. So, miscellaneous revenues. This includes interest and cost on taxes, tower rental fees, interlocal service agreement, licensing, pilots, cable franchise fees, fees and permits, state and federal grants. In 2021, one-time revenue was CARES Act reimbursement. Generally, we do not like to use one-time revenue, but we felt this would not create a structural imbalance, and we were right as revenue mostly rebound as we came out of pandemic. Receipt from delinquent tax. Due to pandemic, the 2022 collection was down slightly. In 2021 and 2022, the anticipated amount is based on an outstanding balance at the end of respective year. There is a statutory formula under the law that we must calculate in order to anticipate this revenue line. Amount to be raised by taxation. The amount to be raised by taxation includes the library tax. The blue bar at the bottom reflects the library tax, and the red bar reflects the municipal tax. Statutory caps. The township has two different caps that we must adhere to. The first one is the cost of living adjustment enacted by the state require each municipality to limit any increase in state budget up to 2.5% annually set by the state, unless authorized by ordinance to increase it to 3 and 3.5% over the previous year's final appropriation. For Oldbridge Township, the proposed final budget appropriation for 2022 is $48,580,775, which is a $243,636 below the state mandated cap base of $48,824,411. This is based on a 3.5% cap base. The state adjusted our cap numbers during their review process, so some numbers are slightly different than what we indicated to you in our budget transmittal. The proposed tax levy cap, enacted in 2010 by the state, require each municipality to limit the local government unit amount to be raised by taxation to no more than 2% over the prior year's levy. The state allows specific exceptions for health benefits, pensions, length of service award program, which is known as LOSEP for volunteers, capital improvements, and debt service. For Oldbridge Township, proposed municipal tax levy for 2022 is $35,994,402, which is $922,870, almost $1 million, below the state mandated property tax levy cap of $36,917,272. While many municipalities go to the maximum cap amount, the township always budgeted based on the needs. So we only budget based on our needs, and we don't try to use the max cap. Flip through the time. Looks like you and me, Mayor, sitting there, huh?
It looks like I'm driving.
Yes. Fiscal health check. We always do our fiscal health check. The municipal budget has been stabilized with an average annual increase of 1.19% from 2011 to 2022. 2011 was one of the difficult years, and so we always go back and compare how we have improved better or we're getting into the trouble. Non-recurring revenue are lower than non-recurring revenue for 2022 by $4,895,000. $665,000 in 2022, a non-recurring revenue, which is a reimbursement from CARES Act, versus $5,560,000 in 2011. So we're not relying on a one-time revenue approach. Fund balance is higher by $2,478,090 or 281%, 281.06%. $3,359,770 in 2022 versus $881,680 in 2011. So our financial condition has improved. Management of our financial has been improved. And this was in detailed discussion during our calls with the bond rating agency last month. The municipal tax rate has been stabilized with an average annual tax rate increase of 0.99% from 2011 to 2022. Average levy increase has been 1.41%. The average CPI index increase over the last 11 years was 1.89%. So we have been below the CPI index and managing our budget. Bond ratings, and this is important as our auditor indicated, that higher the rating, lower the interest cost, lower the cost of our capital projects. Moody's assigned AA2 ratings with a positive outlook to the Township of Oldbridge for $9.8 million general obligation bond series in 2014. Moody's upgrades rating to AA1 and assigned the new ratings to the Township of Oldbridge for $3.7 million energy savings improvement bond series in 2015. Moody's assigned AA1 ratings to the Oldbridge Municipal Utility Authority for $5 million revenue refunding bond series 2016. So our strong bond ratings helps our OBMUA as well as all other entity, even Board of Education has been benefited from that. Moody's assigned AA1 ratings to the Township of Oldbridge for $20 million general obligation and arena bond series from 2017. Moody's assigned AA1 ratings to the Township of Oldbridge for $8.5 million GEO and arena bond series 2019. Moody's assigned AA1 ratings to the Township of Oldbridge for $12.5 million general obligation and arena bond series for 2022. As of today, we maintain AA rating, which is one notch below AAA. We're one notch below AAA. According to Moody's analysis, and we had an at-length discussion why we are not, get to AAA and what we need. And basically, the indication was that it's out of our control. One of the driving factors is the pension obligation. They look at the way the obligation is, affecting the towns, and they become very cautionary about that. And the others is what they're known as OPEB, other post-employment benefit. And we have been working hard to minimize those OPEB obligation for the future. Those are done. We have to do it through negotiations. So we're working on that. So what's the future? The 2023 and 2024 potential challenges. Impact of pandemics. We're just coming out, but I couldn't say we are out of it. We can go right back in that, and we would have a serious impact. National, state, and local economic condition. Currently, we're dealing with inflation, the impact of wars between Russia and Ukraine, weather-related emergency and related cost. We got lucky with the tropical storm Ida. We weren't so lucky with the Sandy. Contractual and statutory cost increases. We have settled with We have a total 9 unions that we negotiate with. We have settled with 2. We're close to settling with a few more, but still 7 still remain outstanding. Accumulated time payout for retirees. Order to implement a municipal-wide revaluation and related cost. We are being ordered by the state and the county for revaluation of the entire town, which could be a cost in $1 million plus. And with that, I remember dealing with this in 1993, the tax appeals that will follow that. In 1993, I just came on board, and we had to go out in the market and borrow $3.6 million to pay the tax appeal for refunds for tax appeal. So that's, that could be an issue in the future. New and unfunded state mandate. State pass a law that state mandate, state pays, but they have always got around. We haven't got a penny for their mandates, and they continue to increase mandate on municipality, on entity and school, Board of Education gets mandate, we get mandate, but they don't fund them. They also agree with me. Recycling cost increase. While currently in a 3-year contract through March 31st, 2023, we do know what type of increases the next contract will bring. We had just faced that increase, and we went through a lengthy negotiation. We saw a big increase in our recycling cost. Further cost to municipal state aid. They call it municipal state aid, but it's really energy tax receipt, and it's really old franchise and gross receipt tax that was changed to energy tax receipt. But state is definitely looking into taking more money out of township, municipality. With the challenges comes opportunity, and we have to look at what opportunity we could be presented. We do ongoing cost containment strategies, short-term and long-term cost containment, health benefit through negotiation with the insurance and through negotiation with the insurance carriers. We have kept, as I mentioned to you earlier, we kept the insurance costs stable for the last 3 years. But we could bring more insurance costs in the future, and we're going to be vigilant to keep that down. In contract negotiation with our collective bargain units, we're always looking for ways to contain costs for the future years, including liability. Competitive contracting for services. By using reverse auction, we were able to get the best price on our energy for the township. We have changed our practices of budget and a capital bond ordinance approval earlier. We approve capital project early in the year so we can go out to bid before the other municipality and we get the best price. Right now, once we go out, once we adopt this budget, once we adopt the capital, we'll be going out right into the, issuing bids for the projects, for our roads, drainage, all of those projects. That helps us being us in the market because all the contractors, all the companies looking for work, and they have a keen interest. If you look at when we bring to you the awards, we have number of bids that we receive are high number of bids, and we become competitive with that. Cooperative purchasing for goods and services. We use local, state, and national co-op to get the best price. We review those prices. When we don't see a price advantage, we go out to bid. New technology-related initiative, which helps streamlines the process and reduce the cost. Since 2020, we have greatly expanded the amount of services we provided electronically through our website. We added online application and payment system for most departments. We digitized records, making them easily available to employee and for OPRA request. The OPRA is becoming very difficult, costly law to us. And that's another mandate from the state. In 2022, we implemented new software in our construction department and are getting ready to deploy in the clerk's office for dog and cat licenses, as well as Oprah request. By doing an online application of many of these services, it just doesn't help us alone. It helps our residents, because that's a 24/7 operations. They can do business with the township. They can go anytime and apply for all those permits at any time. They don't have to take special time off to come to the town hall and file an application. So we're cognizant of that. We are, very large residential community. Federal, state, and county and local grants program. New contract we did with the grant and consulting firm Millennium Strategies focuses on receiving the maximum amount of grants revenue. More grants revenue, less cost to the taxpayer. CDBG grant through HUD provides annual federal funds. American Rescue Plan and Green Acres funds for parks improvement. Cottrell Farm Parks and Menino Parks are an example that's being funded through those grant funds in the millions of dollars. Additional or enhanced shared services with Oldbridge Public Library, Oldbridge Public Schools, Middlesex County Government, Hackensack Meridian Raritan Bay Hospital, and or neighboring municipality. We are always in communication with our neighboring town and other entity in the town, with the school administrations, and we always look at it. We try to bring and do things jointly, which obviously reduces the cost. We have a shared service with the county for recycling program and health services. Shared services with the Board of Education for school security and before and after daycare program. Opioid recovery with Woodbridge Township. Municipal Alliance for Opioid Awareness with school and hospitals. Shared services with Monroe Township for animal shelter services. Business Alliance by Mayor's Office of Economic Development continues to work with businesses in town. That concludes my presentation, our presentation. Yes, I hope it wasn't long, but it was informative.
Very much. Thank you all for your time and all the hard work. It's all appreciated. I'm gonna ask for a motion in a second to bring it out for public comment, and then we'll come back to the council. So move it, Debbie, you say? Oh, okay, and second?
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. Walker. I will now open it up to the public. If you wish to be heard on the budget, please come up, and you have a sheet there, you said, to sign in? Okay. Okay. All right, seeing no hands, I will close the public portion for the budget hearing and now go to council. Anyone on my left have a comment, a question? Mr. Murphy. John, excuse me, can you check your microphone, please?
Guess I'm the only person here without a party. Am I out of the Republican Party right now?
John,
You
this
told
is
me you were
the...
no longer my chairperson. Is that
Wait,
true? I'm
John.
asking a question.
No, I know, but John, this is the budget. Can we finish that first?
What he said was council comments.
No, any comments on the budget?
Okay.
Do you have any comments on what was presented to you? Anything, John? Councilman Murphy? No? He said no, Eric? Okay. All right. Anyone else on my left? Okay, Mrs. DeCaro?
I just want to thank you for that presentation. It was very good, comprehensive, and it wasn't too long. It was okay. What a meeting for me to start at, boy. But there was a lot. There's a lot here, and a lot of background that I'm probably not aware of. But the one thing that I just wanted to ask, and I don't know if this is an appropriate time to ask the question, but when we talked over on page 11, and you talked about the full-time positions, police department, office of the clerk, things of that nature. I was wondering if now would be a good time to ask is there a reason why we're not hiring the permanent police chief? Is that something to, I don't know if that's an appropriate time to ask, or if it's,
So again, if I could, the issue with respect to the administrative employees obviously is vested with the administration. And to the extent that there's a position to be filled, that's solely within the purview of the administration. There are a myriad of issues with that particular position that you're right, you haven't been exposed to. And that's something that I can brief you on, that to help you understand why that position is, there's been an acting chief while a chief has not been appointed. So I think, right, and many of those discussions have been, some of those discussions have been executive sessions, so that's why it can't be disclosed in public.
right, sure, I understand. I know it's a matter of personnel, so I knew, I just wasn't sure if maybe there was just a general rationale, but I do, I appreciate, we can talk about this, another time, maybe not in the public forum.
If I can just add to that, Councilwoman, the position is fully funded in the 22 budget.
Okay,
For
okay.
Chief of Police, it's fully funded. It's
Right,
there.
because there's acting chiefs now, I understand.
Correct.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if that was the question, the position is fully funded in this budget.
Okay, all right, thank you. And the other thing I just wanted to say is I like I'm very excited about the potentials, especially with the shared services. I think that's a great way to collaborate, townwide to keep the budget.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. We
I'm
always
happy to
look
hear
for
about that.
opportunity. When we do share services, we want to make sure that both sides, it's savings to them. Because if we're going to increase the cost on one side or both sides, it doesn't make sense, and that.
Yeah.
But I'm always Mayor and myself is always in communication with the administration in Board of Education. We are in communication with the Utility Authority, and we always do a lot of, things to see if we can work together and reduce cost on both entity.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, are you through?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. De Palma?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Dawn Hamachu, Mayor, for giving that out. I'm actually a little happy that I don't have to hear budget line item 107, salaries, this and that. But it is good that everyone was able to hear that. Hopefully in the future, more folks will come out to the budget hearings themselves when we have those workshops to go through each individual item. The one thing that I know Mr. Schott brought up was the bond rating, and I was on the call with Moody's. The one thing that concerns me with what they were saying at the time was, yes, there are things that are way out of our controls, like pensions and things like that, and then also the salaries or the average salaries of our residents is what hinders us a lot of times from getting there. That's unfortunate that they're looking at what our average salaries are for our residents, because of a town of this size, you could have folks anywhere from $1 million a year to folks that are retired and in essence don't make any more money. So that is a little bit concerning that they take that into account. But have a finance background as I do, that AA1 rating is monumental in saving this town a ton of money when it comes to the interest rates that we would have to potentially pay out. So, it's a great testament to not only Mr. Shah, but Dawn and the rest of the finance department on the great job that they do with our budget. So thank you guys very much.
And it's important, Council, that we realize, even though we are the AA1, I believe we're getting AAA rates with the interest rates. I believe we are getting the rate that a AAA community would be getting. So.
And it's a rating, it's very important. It's dear to me. I always pay attention to it. And you heard me on the rating agency telling them Oldbridge is AAA. I want you to give us AAA. Obviously,
Yes, we know your persistence, Mr.
Yeah.
Shah.
But the demographics, they look at the demographics, I think if you look at the comments that they put out, we have posted that on our Facebook page and our website on that. There are positive comments in that, in detail. So sometimes rating itself is critical, but also the detailed comments that they put out. Their review of us is basically it's their review of us, and those comments are reviewed by all the investment community. And we'll talk more in capital part of it, because we're going to talk about that, and we'll tell you what the end result was. And I think everybody should be happy hearing what we achieved.
You through? Okay, anyone on my right? Mr. Pescitti?
Yes, I'd like to commend the finance department. You guys did a really good job. I mean, we just cut off 2 years rough time for the town, and you guys need to be commended for doing a good job keeping the costs tight. The people at home need to realize that we have a municipal budget of approximately $60 million, and we're only collecting $36 million by taxation. So, when these guys go through the budget, you right away could look at, well, we should increase our taxes, and they don't. They look at all the areas, just like Himanshu went through, and did a really good job. I'm very proud of this year's budget. Once again, this is the 5th year I've been on the council, and very proud of you guys. Good job. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Go ahead, Deb.
Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes, first of all, I'd like to thank all the heads of the departments, our business administrator, our mayor, administration. I think we've come a long way. The prior administration used non-recurring revenues to balance their budget. It's ridiculous. Not only that, before they were not doing capital projects, capital improvements at all. And, the town was not seeing any of our tax money going into improving our services in town. I have to commend you for stabilizing the taxes in spite of COVID, in spite of not getting any increase in state aid, in spite of the state putting mandates not only on the township, but on the MUA, and they're non-funded state mandates that we have to do that. The impact that COVID had on us, and in spite, we have to take into account that gas has gone up a ridiculous amount, our utilities have gone up a ridiculous amount, and we've seemed to provide services and stabilize taxes. Salaries go up, rightfully so. We have to fund the pension. That goes on. Even if we were being able, with good stewardship, to maintain our health insurance the last few years, there was a major jump over the past 10 years. It was incredible. So with that in hand, I would have to say it's not me speaking or anyone else up here, or even the administration. When you're reviewed from an outside agency like Moody's, and I was on that phone call, and the compliments that the township got for everything adverse things that we have to face, we're judged by an outside agency, and we're AA+. The prior administration had junk bonds, B bond rating. And we've come a long way in a short amount of time. And just as you said, when you have a AA bond rating, when you have to borrow money to do capital projects, it's such a low interest rate. And that helps the school and it helps the MUA. Beyond that, before you would get money when your money was in the bank. You're not even getting that money from interest. So with all the things that have been cut off from ways that the township could benefit from the money, we've done an excellent job without it. And I think if people paid attention to this, we've had multiple years with zero tax increase, zero. And the amount that we have is minuscule. It's really where we have we're obliged for salaries, rightfully so, an increase, and for our pension. So I think it's been outrageous, the job that you have done, and also with the capital improvements. And I really appreciate that. And I just want to thank everyone who's involved in putting this together. Not only that, all the workshops, all the time that we put into understanding it and going over line by line. It reflects that there's transparency and there's good stewardship for the budget. And I just want to thank you, and I hope really the township, when a lot of times when you get your tax bill in, sure, no one's happy to see that. And no one's happy all the time, you know, the increases that happen, but it's just not the municipal. If you look at the small amount that the municipality gets, we have to, you know, take care of the library, our fire. If we did not have the good volunteers that we had in this town for the fire department's EMS, it would be like atrocious. I don't even know what the cost would be. So I want to compliment them. I want to compliment OEM. So there's many, many different departments throughout town that put the effort into making this happen. The police department, all the time, the work that they do, it's very much appreciated from everyone that really puts their time and effort to make this town function in the way that it does. And like I said, it's not us who are looking at it. You put the hard work into it, but it's AA+ bond rating. That is phenomenal, and you need to be complimented. And it's not easy to do the job you do. I know you take hits from everyone, every department, all the time. It's not hard because they're looking myopically at one segment. But when you put it all together, it really does make a difference, and it works for everyone. Thank you very much.
They call me cheap. That's what they call me.
I just want to thank everyone in the financial department for all the hard work you put into this budget. And I think the workshops are great, to attend the workshops, because you really know line by, we actually go over every line item in the budget. So when you get here tonight, you already know what's happening. I really want to thank you. I know you put a lot of hard work into that. And also, when we were at the budget workshops, we found out like the state aid's been flat for how many years? It's been over 10 years, correct? It's been the same. Yeah, and it's hard to, costs go up, and we keep getting it's not just Oldbridge, it's statewide. The state has been flat on the amount that they give to the towns, and it's very hard to maintain a low tax rate. And also another thing I want to bring up that we learned at the meeting is that, the town is responsible to collect all the money for all the entities that we don't do their budgets. But if there's a failure to pay the taxes, like what do we collect at 99-point-something%? That's about $1 million that we have to eat, because we have to give the other entities their money, whether or not we get the money. And I think a lot of people at home don't realize that it costs the town about $1 million. And a lot of people still, no matter how many times we do the pie charts and everything, we explain that we only get a small percentage of the tax dollar. There are other entities. People still just don't get it. They'll just say to me, Debbie, can't you stop the tax increase at the Board of Ed? I'm like, no, we can't. They have their own budget. People still, don't understand that. So I just want to stress that we only get 19 cents on the dollar. And once again, thank you all for your hard work. Oh, okay, that's all. No, it was council comment thing I want to say. Yep.
All right. Well, I will end the comments by echoing the sentiments that it was a well-done job. It's a very difficult balance. You have people, you have employees, you have residents. It's a mix, and it's very hard sometimes to come to a fair appraisal for everyone, and that's what I think we really try to do. It's been a long road. Coming along from the beginning when I was first on the council, it was crazy, but now we've been stable, and I think we've moved forward in a good way. And I think all the department heads, everyone in town hall, police, and on the other side as well, all have tried their best to work with us, and it is appreciated. It's just a tough road, very hard decisions, and like Mr. Pischetti said, these years have been tough. And, we're trying to do the best we can for everyone. I'm glad to see that we're moving in the right direction. I feel that we're making a positive impact, and we're trying as hard as we can to satisfy all the needs, both here and the residents, and put it together. So thank you all very much. Mr. Allison, also I wanted to thank you, because the last meetings that we had during the pandemic, the finance meetings that we were on, were phenomenal. And they really helped us moving forward, see what we had to do to address what was coming. And that's what I liked about, this, we're trying to get ahead of the curve and not waiting until where do we go now? Where is the money? There is no more money. What do we do? And I'm glad that we stopped doing that. With the minute we saw the pandemic and the problems, you reached out and we had our meetings and you gave us good advice and kept us on an even keel. And you deal with other towns, so I know you had said to us that we were somewhat of an anomaly, that we were keeping ourselves in a good place. So thank you again for all your help as well. I think we try every tool we can use to keep us in a good place. So thank you all very, very much.
Mary, can I speak?
Yeah, you didn't.
Spoken the wrong thing before.
Okay. It's about the budget. That's fine.
Yeah, I spent 6 weeks in a hospital and I missed budget programs, individual ones, and I love that part. But to see that you did just as good a job as you do every year, it's unbelievable. Like, I agree with Tony. I've been on as long as he has, and it's been there. But I just want to tell people, don't take life easy. While I was away, I fell in and I don't have my hearing aid. That's the other problem. I fell in an elevator, broke 4 ribs, punctured a lung, ripped out an artery, and severed an artery. They didn't give me much of a chance. That's why I missed the last 3 meetings. So I just want to apologize for missing them, but I think you guys did a great job, and take life the way it should be. Don't ever think it's nothing, because I didn't really want to die, but they told me I wasn't going to make it, so I felt a little better. Okay, thank you. That's it.
Okay, you good now, Councilman? Okay. Right, thank you very much. Next will be the Cap Bank. Oh. Okay. No, but wait, Kate told me no.
We didn't.
Yeah, no, the Cap Bank has to be done. Yeah.
Council comment.
Yeah. No, but that's what, yeah, we have to vote.
Oh, that's right. I know, I just saw that.
I need a motion and a second for the Cap, to open up to the public for the Cap Bank, if anyone in the public. Okay, moved by Mrs. Walker and second by Mr. Pescitti. Anyone in the public wish to be heard on the Cap Bank? No, I'll close the public and we'll go back to the council. That's the bond ordinance. Right. No, it's okay. All right. Roll call, please.
Councilperson DeCara?
Abstain.
For clarification, this is vote for adoption, correct?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes. Vote to adopt the Cap Bank.
Councilman De Palma?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy? Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
That's 6 yeses.
Okay, now we have the.
Can take a vote on that.
Now we can do, yeah.
Thank you.
Resolution of Township of Oldbridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, adopting the calendar year 2022 budget. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Eric.
And who seconded?
Tony? Yeah, Tony seconded, yeah. With these things, it's hard. You can't go with them.
Roll call. Councilperson DeCara?
Abstain.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy? Councilperson Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
That was 6 yeses.
Okay, very good. Now we go on to the capital budget presentation for calendar year 2022.
Council Presidents, I'm going to turn it over to my able assistant, Dawn, She will be doing the presentation on
Good night.
capital.
Thank you again.
And I promise to be much, much shorter than Mr. Shaw on the budget presentation.
Yeah.
I'll be quick, trust me. Capital Improvement Program, general overview. A capital improvement program is a multi-year plan and schedule for capital projects. The state requires us to have a 6-year improvement plan included in our state budget. But you have to realize that this is only a plan and is always subject to change. Municipal infrastructure needs constant attention and maintenance, and failure to maintain your infrastructure will put your community at risk for future years. By statute, capital projects have a prospective useful life of 5 years or more. Capital projects may include the acquisition and/or development of land, the acquisition of major equipment and personal property, the acquisition, construction, improvement, and/or renovations of buildings, roads, utilities, and other structures, improvements of public works, and any other matter described in NJSA 48:2-22, regardless of financing sources. The annual capital budget is prepared and adopted in conjunction with the annual operating budget. As I stated before, the state requires us to have a 6-year plan in that budget. Administrative preparation of the annual capital budget includes a thorough review of each departmental project request in terms of need, justification, scheduling, cost, effect on operating budget, method of financing, and the impact on municipal debt structure. The capital budget does not directly appropriate funds. The appropriation of funds is made part of the capital improvement section of the budget and/or by the adoption of a bond ordinance. So on tonight's agenda is the bond ordinance for general improvements. Upon completion of a project, any unexpended balances are canceled by council resolution. This is usually done once a year in December. Capital improvement planning and budgeting goals. Continue to develop a comprehensive 6-year capital program on an annual basis that supports township goals and objectives for equipment, facilities, infrastructure, and technology. So we don't just look at the current year's needs, but develop a plan over several years for replacements and upgrades. Obviously, this plan is fluid for the future years and constantly changing, but it does give us a good starting point. It eliminates the need for considering projects on an emergency basis and also helps us schedule resources and equipment to ensure their maximum utilization and efficiency. We continue to develop and implement a management system for prioritizing, tracking, and reporting on capital projects to ensure timely acquisition and/or completion. Administration and finance hold routine capital project meetings with the departments, usually on a quarterly basis. We actually have one coming up next week. We try and maximize the utilization of grants to offset capital costs and related debt service. So to use the words of our township engineer, we like to use other people's money. We annually receive grants from DOT for our road construction projects. Community development block grant money for road reconstruction in eligible areas, equipment and facility upgrades at the Silver Linings and Food Bank, and ADA improvements to facilities throughout the complex. Green Acres funding, which we've received for Cottrell Farm Park most recently, and also the American Rescue Plan for park improvements, which will be used so far. Menino Park, we've dedicated money towards. We try to minimize the property tax impact of capital projects and related debt service through sound financial planning and balancing of debt repayment schedules, which we'll discuss later in the presentation. Now we're going to just take a brief look back at the last 5 years of capital projects. For 2017, most of these projects were completed. You're going to see every year annual curbing, drainage, and road improvements, which do make up almost half of the capital budget each year, as well as vehicle and equipment replacement. For 2017, the total authorized amount was $4,467,000, and our current balance is $33,593.30. 2018, these were our capital projects. I'm not going to go through any in the prior years. We will have this presentation available on our website. For 2018, the total authorized $5,028,400, leaving a current balance of $109,265.15. Our list of 2019 capital projects. Also important to note, some of the projects you see over multiple years, sometimes we need to break it up over multiple years, to spread out the funding, or as we move on with the project, there's certain, different phases, or we find out we do need additional money. For 2019 capital, total authorized $6,085,000, and the current balance is $1,238,452.69. At the end, we'll go back. 2020 capital. Total authorized $6,185,000, and the current balance $1,486,519.65. Our 2021 capital budget, which included these courtroom renovations, which were very much needed. 2021 capital, total authorized $6,650,000. Our current balance, $2,979,196.31. Bringing us to the 2022 capital, the list of projects that are in the bond ordinance that's before you tonight. We have our annual curb replacement program at various locations, annual drainage improvement program, also at various locations, Athens Avenue bypass pipe, Morgan Avenue outfall pipe, Morgan outfall pipe reconstruction, Stevens Avenue pipe replacement phase 3. Under equipment for the TV studio, courtroom AV upgrade, OBTV broadcast studio and control room upgrade, and portable camera broadcast. For the MIS department, desktop computer replacement, document imaging and scanning, Hyper-V server replacement, and network upgrades. For the police department, body-worn cameras, pole-mounted radar speed signs, shotguns and accessories, and QED server replacement. For our Department of Public Works, asphalt hotbox, street sign printer, brine making system, snow blower attachments, snow plow, tailgate spreader, and a mezzanine. Under facility improvements, Lawrence Harbor Community Building, which would be for recreation and the library in that area of town. Municipal Complex Courtyard, renovations of the billiard room and the Silver Lining Center. Police Administration, Detective Bureau renovation, Police OIC Records Department renovation, prisoner cell area mandatory upgrades, DPW locker room renovations. This is one area we're using community development block grant money for ADA improvements. I'm told they're over 40 years old, and just as our police department, we've increased the females on the force over the years. Last year, we brought on our first full-time female laborer in the Public Works Department, so very much needed at this point. Replacement of hot water heater at the Civic Center, and replacement of side entry doors in the Administration Building. Parks improvements, Cottrell Farm Park, Menino Park improvements, playground at 5th Street basketball courts, Gike Park synthetic turf conversion and replacement, pickleball court installation at Menino Park. We have 2 courts that were in previous years that are almost complete, and this is for an additional 4 courts. Playground replacement at Central Park and Genoa Park, and replacement of the pavilion at Gike Park. Annual road resurfacing program at various locations, and vehicles for the police, all-terrain vehicle, ATV, 4 Ford Interceptor utility vehicles, for the Department of Public Works, 2 dump trucks and a backhoe. For 2022 capital, total project amount, $9,941,000. Section 20 costs of $74,000, which includes bonding costs and preliminary engineering and architect fees, for a total cost of $10,015,000. We have other funding sources of $5,315,000 from pro rata funds, American Recovery Plan, Green Acres, and the Community Development Block Grant. The ordinance requires a down payment of $235,800, which is provided for in this budget through the Capital Improvement Fund, and has a net borrowing of $4,464,200. The capital funding process. It begins with the adoption of a multi-purpose capital bond ordinance, which authorizes the project borrowings. That's on tonight's agenda for public hearing and adoption after this presentation. Next, the issuance of short-term bond anticipation notes, or BANs. The notes are limited to 1-year expiration from the date of issue. The township does not immediately borrow funds. Once the project starts, the finance department reviews all authorized projects and determines the amount to borrow. Short-term band borrowing happens over multiple years as the projects within the bond ordinance progresses. We renew these bonds for an additional 2 or 3 years to allow projects to be completed and the final amount of borrowing to be determined. The bands are renewed annually until the project is complete. Some of these notes are paid down each year through the operating budget, and also new money is added as additional projects are started. Then after 2 or 3 years, we convert the short-term bands into long-term bonds. As Himanshu had mentioned, we had our 2022 bond sale on March 31st, and we had a net interest cost of 2.58%, and it was an 11-year issue for $12.5 million. And that bond issue covers bands that were issued over the last 3 years. Our annual amortization for township debt is approximately 0% of the total annual budget. The rating agencies find this percent to be very reasonable and well managed by the municipality. They like to see it under 10% usually. And we try and keep our debt service as flat as possible from year to year to not have any large fluctuations. The township's AA1 rating from Moody's Investor Services is the second highest rating Moody's assigns. The high rating has an impact on the borrowing rates and financing costs, which has helped us reduce the borrowing rate, which gives us lower financing costs, which is then passed on to the taxpayers. Our method of amortization has been recognized by the rating agencies, as the next slide will show. This is our current debt amortization table. It includes township-issued bonds for general capital and arena utility funds, as well as the Environmental Infrastructure Trust Loan, and those payments will end in 2024. It does not include bands or projects authorized but debt not issued. Our current amortization is 14 years. Amortization is important because these capital projects provide a long-term benefit to the township and to the residents. Improvements done today have useful lives of 5, 10, or even 20 years. Debt costs are paid over the useful life of the improvement. And even if you stopped all capital projects today, you most likely wouldn't see any tax savings until 5 or 10 years into the future. Township has an informal policy that we do not borrow more than we retire, and we leave enough room for additional borrowing. Future bond issues will fill in later years with new amortization, which minimizes the impact on the operating budget. So if you look at years 22, 23, and 24, you see the total payments are around 5.7 million, and then it drops off to 4.5. So we'll most likely look to issue new debt to fill in 2025 that payment. This is a graphical presentation. And recommended council action items tonight. Public hearing and adoption on the bond ordinance for the 2022 capital budget. Recommending that council adopts the bond ordinance tonight so our department heads can keep moving forward with our capital improvements.
Okay.
Nicole's got her bid specs already.
Well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
That was a very good presentation, excellent and very well read. I'm going to ask for a motion second to bring it out to the public.
Move it.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. De Palma, second by Mrs. Walker. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on the capital improvements? If you could want to be heard, come and sign up, please.
Use this
Oh, God, I get to sit next to Hamashu. Oh, this is very exciting.
Take my seat.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I just have a few questions. Could you go back to the 2022 budget and capital? It's a few slides ago. Oh, gosh. I wish. Yeah, it's even smaller. It's worse. Can you tell me how much money is coming from the federal government, Build Back America, or whatever the program is called, the federal program? What is it, Build Back? 2.3 million. And how is that money being broken down? Sorry.
The $2.3 million from the American Rescue Plan is going towards Menino Park improvements.
Okay, and what about the Cottrell Farms? The excess money, there was additional money that was being appropriated to the Cottrell Farms for the big pool, or a splash park, I should say.
Are you referring to the Green Acres funding?
No, it wasn't part of Green Acres. No, Hamashi knows.
The Cottrell Farm is being funded over a number of years, projects. The initial funding, I believe, was in 2018. And then this year, we have additional money. We have received a grant from Green Acres, $1,250,000, which requires matching of Township, $250,000. So those funds are budgeted in this year's capital. And I don't know exactly, but I think that right now the focus is, it's a multi-phase project, multi-years. It's not going to get done. So right now, there is a detention basin, parking area, walking trail. That's our next plan. The phase one was to improve and renovate the building.
Yeah, no.
The phase one was a building improvement. And if you want, you can speak to Nicole because she's on top of every phase of those projects.
How much extra money was given over for the cost overage in that so far?
I don't believe that.
Originally, we were budgeted like $2 million for the spray park, and now what is it at?
Well, the initial funding and initial phase, And Nicole, you want to come and explain the phase? I think she can do a better job because she's, yeah, you should be.
I apologize. That's okay. First phase was the building rehab, so it was the interior, exterior of the farmhouse and the exterior of the three buildings that are adjacent to the farmhouse, with the exclusion of the pool house, which would be in the next building phase. The second phase is the site work that's associated with the parking lot along Cottrell Road, and also the parking lot that's behind the farmhouse building, so that you could park vehicles that are associated with work or use of the farmhouse building. Building phase was, I believe, 1.138 million, and then the site work, which includes the parking lots, the Grand Plaza in front of all of the buildings, the Grand entrance off of County Route 516, and then the secondary entrance off of Cottrell Road, all the stormwater management, the hardscape, basically, the curbing, the sidewalk, the handicap ramps, etc., was probably about 1.328 million. The next phase, which would include a little bit more of the park features, there's going to be a playground, a community gardens, the splash pad, all is going to be geared towards the theme of the farm. And then also the continuation of the walking path, because eventually there'll be a park course so that people can actually do fitness around the walking paths at different stations. Did I answer your question?
How much does it cost of the splash park at this point?
The splash park, I don't remember.
I thought there was an overage that was approved last year.
So comments should be directed towards council, all right? Because this is a public. No, it's actually on the capital ordinance. So the question should be directed to council to the extent that they could be answers, and then council president can direct necessary. That's okay. Just trying to keep protocol, right? So we're not here till past midnight, because it's been a while since we had those late meetings.
How much money was spent on the whole Cottrell property at this point? And how much is expected to be spent by the township for this capital expense? How's that? Is that better, Mr. Rizzoli?
Well, I think I don't know if that's included in this capital budget. So to the extent it's not included in the capital budget.
What I'm concerned about is that this just keeps going on and on and on. You understand me? I mean, it's like what is it? The house, it just keeps costing us. So I just want to know when you guys are going to say uncle.
Council, I'll
sorry,
try to
Anita.
answer the question. According to Nicole, we anticipated the project to be a little over $6 million upon build-out. To date, we're about 2.5, so I don't know what the overage thing. The only increased cost that maybe we didn't include was the historical hoops that we had to jump through when we were trying to qualify for Green Acres funding. But there's been no overages. In fact, Nicole keeps a very tight rein on all our contractors over there and gets the most out of them. So total build-out, we're looking for over $6 million. To date, about 2.5. I hope that answers everyone's question.
Didn't answer because we paid more for the developers or the contractors than was agreed upon.
Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to come up and speak on this capital ordinance? No? Okay, I'll close public and I'll go now to council for comment. Anyone on my left for a comment? Mr. De Palma.
So it's good to see that we have so much stuff going on. And I know Mary Granahan, who was our station manager, got a lot of that stuff done and put a lot of that budget together. It's a shame that she won't be here to see some of those AV equipments to go in. But we are looking forward to it. I know we've had some issues with the analog to digital. It'll be great once we go full digital and we're able to fully experience these council meetings without the ebbs and flows of technology.
It should improve quality of transmission of our video broadcasting and everything. But right now, the studio equipments are probably 20 years old.
Yeah, and I also think it's great, I don't want to speak for Councilman Garcia, but having that Lawrence Harbor Community Building built out that we heard about just a couple weeks ago I think that's great. The fact that we'll have something additional down in Lawrence Harbor. Not only a community center, but also a new library looking over Manhattan. Because if no one's ever been down there, I know not a lot of folks have, but at night you can see Manhattan. You can see the skyline. So it's kind of unique in the fact that we are kind of one of the first shore towns, right? And I think, if you've spoken to some of the folks in Historical Society, they'll say we are almost the first town, that has I don't want to say a proper beach, but a beachfront, and it's great that we are able to utilize that, attract folks, and increase the property value for our residents down there. The more that we have, the better off it is for them. And I think that's great. So thank you guys very much.
Anyone else no? Okay, anyone on my right? Mrs. Walker.
I'm glad to see so much money being put back into the residents because I think they really appreciate all these improvements, especially for all age groups. And like Eric said, down by the beachfront, the whole town is getting a little piece, and I'm very happy. Thank you for all your hard work.
Anyone else? Okay, no.
Sure. I would also like to echo the fact that when people pay taxes and you see your town that you live in, these improvements, I think it speaks volumes. And I think you're doing a great job, and it's nice to see these projects done. I know you'll have a segment of the population complaining when it's done because of different things that go on, but we're getting there, and it's looking pretty good. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? All right, I will just close comments, but again, thank you all for your hard work. I think we're making a good investment. And I do think we do utilize the grant money well. Phillips Drive, Trans Oldbridge, Morganville Road. We have really attempted to get as many grants as we can. And I believe, like you said, the quote, we use other people's money, and that's a great thing. And as far as the capital itself, again, there's got to be a balance between town hall and the people, the residents. And I think the equipment that we bonded for from Public Works to the police department to recreation and so on, I think we really do try to recognize that they need that kind of equipment in order to do, to do the best job they can do. And they really do utilize it well. So I think it's a good balance. I think we're making good strides, and we have a plan. It's organized, methodical. And I think, like Mrs. Walker said, it's fair across the town. From Lawrence Harbor and the library, to other things that we're doing in different areas. I think it's very balanced. So thank you all very much. And the Mayor, would you like to close?
Yes, Council, before you vote, I'd just like to just reiterate, even if you're new to the council, if you see what was just presented to you, you see over the past 5 years where we've gone from 4-point-something million to $10 million in investing right back into the community. And this year, we're so fortunate to have more than half of that being paid for through other avenues other than borrowing. Less than half the money is being borrowed to produce over $10 million of improvements. So that says a lot. It really does. And I want to thank you, for the council for bringing all these. We're a big town. The needs are many, but we're doing our best to invest. And nobody would ever have thought 11 years ago that we'd ever be investing $10 million on a capital. The year before, the 2010 was a zero capital investment, zero, if anyone can even imagine that. And then we started the trend back then. I think the first year in 11 was 1.5, and we worked our way up. And here we are in 2022, investing $10 million back into the community. That speaks volumes. So thank you, Council. I really do appreciate all your help and support.
Now I'd like to take a motion, please.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Walker, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
This is for adoption of the capital bond.
And this is for adoption of the capital ordinance.
Roll call. Councilperson DeCaro?
Abstain.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy? Councilperson Pescitti?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
That's 6 yeses.
Okay, well, thank you all very much for a very good presentation. It was a marathon, but thank you again for all the good work. Really appreciate it. Okay, next is going to be our bill list.
7 yeses. Can't count.
Mrs.
Sorry.
Walker? I don't know.
Accounts payable, April 5th, 2022, $17,950,300. $346.36. Payroll, March 18th, 2022, $1,065,785.64. Payroll overtime, March 18th, 2022, $27,641.46. Payroll, April 1st, 2022, $1,022,450.54. Payroll overtime, April 1st, 2022, $30,698.32.
Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Moved by Mr. De Palma, second by Mrs. Walker. Okay, and now for a breakdown, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Council President. There's two payroll in overtime related to two payroll, March 18 and April 1st. For March 18, the sworn police officers' overtime was $18,630.56. Deduct grant, $2,427.94. Deduct ETO, $2,843.92. The net overtime was $13,358.70, representing 173 men and women hours. There were two officers injured on duty or light duty. There were really no uptick in any other department during that pay period. For payroll of April 1st, as Councilwoman Walker indicated, total overtime was $25,856.19. The only uptick was in election for the special election. The total police overtime was $21,419.19 for the sworn officer. When you deduct grant, $5,088.74. Deduct ETO, $4,358.92. The net overtime for that pay period is $11,971.53, representing 233.5 men and women hours. And again, there was two officers injured on duty or light duty. That concludes my report, Council President.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shaw. Roll call, please.
Councilperson DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy? Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Councilperson Pescitti?
He left. He's not. He's
off
He was. Yeah, he didn't feel well. Tony.
Councilperson Walker was a yes, correct?
Yes, she was a yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
Now it's 6 yeses.
Okay. Okay. Next will be our consent agenda. I'm going to ask for a motion and a second, and then I'm going to bring it out for separation. So can we have a motion for the?
Move it.
Moved by Mrs. Walker and second by Dr. Greenberg Belli, and now we'll go to separations.
Separations. Councilperson DeCaro, are there any separations from the agenda, consent agenda?
None at this time.
Councilman De Palma?
C11.
Councilman Garcia?
None, thank you.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
No, thank you.
Councilperson Murphy?
No, thanks.
Councilperson Walker?
Oh, no, thank you.
And Council President Sohar?
No, thank you. So we'll take a roll call on the balance.
So all items except for item number C11. Roll call for Councilperson DeCaro?
Abstain.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy?
Yes.
Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
That's 6 yeses.
Okay, next will be C11, Mr. De Palma.
Yeah, so just like always, as these items come up on our consent agenda, so this is the cancellation and refund of real estate taxes for 100% disabled veterans. So for those folks in our township or anyone here listening, that there are programs like this throughout our state and throughout our town, please take advantage of that if you can, and if you do qualify. That's all.
Okay.
I'll move it.
All right, moved by Mr. De Palma, second by
Second.
Mrs. Walker.
Roll call. Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy. Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
That's 6 yeses.
Thank you very much. Next will be report of the township clerk.
I have no report.
Okay. Township attorney, any report?
Report, Madam President, thank you.
Okay. Administrative report, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Council President. The administrative report for April 5th, 2022. Item number 1, 2018 Homestead Rebate Program. The 2018 Homestead Rebate will be applied to the second quarter tax payment due in May 2022. Revised tax bill for qualified homeowners will be mailed out during the week of April 14th. For additional information, residents should contact the New Jersey Division of Taxation at 888-238-1233 or Office of Tax Collector at 732-721-5600, extension 2999. Now, some folks may say, why 2018? I can't answer that because it's a state program. It's when they give us the information, that's when we apply. Item number 2, Oldbridge bond rating information. On Monday, March 21st, 2022, Moody's Investor Service affirmed the Township of Oldbridge with the Township's very strong AA bond rating. The AA rating is the second highest rating assigned by Moody's and is in the top 10% of municipality both nationwide and in New Jersey. The excellent rating reflects the Township large tax base, strong management, consistent financial operations, and modest debt burden. The Township overall financial position continued to be strengthened each year. Item number 3, General Obligation Bond Series 2022. On Thursday, March 31st, 2022, Department of Finance received 6 bids for the sale of $12.5 million of general obligation bond, consist of $12.2 million of general improvement bonds and $300,000 for arena utility bonds. The winning bid from Roosevelt and Cross, Inc. has a net interest cost of 2.58%. Item number 4, Phillips Drive Phase 1 and 2 improvements, contract number 2021-48B. Oldbridge Township contractor Lancha Construction are continuing with concrete curb replacement and ADA curb ramp replacement along both sides of Phillips Drive from Rock Hill Road to Cottrell Road using intermittent detouring of certain section of roadway with arbors within the arbors development. For continual update on this project, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and oldbridge.com/projects. Should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact the Oldbridge Township Engineering Office at extension 2302. Item number 5, 2021 Annual Drainage Improvement. On or about Tuesday, April 5th, 2022, Oldbridge Township contractor Mezercola Excavation Company will begin drainage improvement on Washington Avenue between dwelling number 58 and dwelling number 76. Parking will not be permitted within this section of roadway. Should you have any question, please contact Oldbridge Township Engineering Department at extension 2302. Item number 6, Cottrell Farm Projects. Oldbridge Township contractor Precise Construction, Inc. has resumed construction of Cottrell Farm Park site improvement. Construction includes, but is not limited to, new parking lot along Cottrell Road and farmhouse, stormwater management and facility, walking trail, and refurbishment of the site area around the existing building for public access, park signage, irrigations, and landscaping. Please visit oldbridge.com/projects for continual updates. Item number 7, Mayor Henry's Clean Team. Mayor Henry's Clean Team kicked off on Saturday, April 2nd, 2022. Volunteers from local group did a great job cleaning up Perrine Road, Old Road, Cheesequake Road, Ferry Road, and Old Amboy Road. Any nonprofit organization who are interested in participating should contact Clean Community Coordinator at extension 6107 or by emailing recycling@oldbridge.com. Item number 8, spring leaf collection. Spring leaf pickup will begin the week of April 11, 2022 in all wards. Please visit oldbridge.com/recycling for the full schedule. Item number 9, Parks and Recreation. The Oldbridge Township Parks and Recreation Department is seeking camp staff for our 3 summer camp program that includes half day, full day, and Camp Robin. Please apply on the township website at oldbridge.com/recreation. Should you have any questions, please contact the Parks and Recreation Office at extension 4999. Item number 10, Autism Awareness Month. April is Autism Awareness Month. The township will recognize this special cause with proclamation to bring attention to autism. It will be posted on all our social media outlets and will be read at the next council meeting. We encourage everyone to remain cognizant and compassionate towards autism. Council President, that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shaw. Does any council person on my left have a comment or a question on his report? No? Okay, anyone on my right? Okay, seeing no hands, I will ask for a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. Walker.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma.
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia.
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg Belli. Councilperson Murphy. Councilperson Walker.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
6 yeses.
Okay, next will be public comment on any subject matter for a maximum period of 3 minutes. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard? Yep.
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. This section is open for any topic or items in the consent agenda. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Oldbridge Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. Only one member of the public should approach to speak to council at a time. The council will respect the public's time by refraining any comment until the speaker is finished with their allotted time. It should be further noted that public comment portion of our meeting is not constructed as its question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the corresponding department's office during regular business hours. The township clerk will regulate the time during the comment portion of our meeting.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard? You can come forward, and you signed up already. Yeah?
Yep.
Mhm.
My voice is loud enough, but, oh, there it is. So first, yay, Jill. Congratulations. Woo! Not many people made it to the very end of this meeting, but I just wanted to do a shout out and say, Jill, we are really proud of you. Democrats in Oldbridge and the Republicans and the independents who voted for you are all excited about your starting this office. And it was a hard-won win, but we did it. I'm proud of you. And I know I speak for everybody, her husband, everybody is still staying here. But the second question is back about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, you guys changed the length of time. I don't remember what it was. Was it 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes? It went down to 3 minutes. And that was at the end of the summer when there was only like me asking the questions like I usually do. I was wondering, well, I know I'm taking up quite a bit of time tonight. Why don't you raise it back up? Because as you've seen, and I know, President Sohar, you've seen people come up here and ask questions or talk at length or try to talk at length about an item, and their 3 minutes is up before they get to the item. It would probably behoove you, if you really want to hear, if you want to hear from the general public, like myself, you might not want to hear from me, but obviously other people have come up. I know, I'm just trying to make jokes, okay? But seriously, I think it's really important to bring it up to a length of time. And I do understand that nobody wants to be here till 3 o'clock in the morning, but still, with that that notwithstanding, a longer length of time, something that would allow for people to catch the full length of what they want to talk about in a capacity that's actually reasonable. That's all. Anyway, Yahoo, woohoo! And I'm sorry, we're just really excited to have like a full council now again. That's really good, right? Anyway, that's it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to be heard from the public this evening? No? Okay, seeing no hands, we'll close the public and we'll go on to council comments.
Councilperson DeCaro.
Yes, thank you. I actually have something that I wrote down for tonight's meeting, so please forgive me for reading, but when I tend to ad lib, I tend to ramble, so I had to write down my thoughts. But basically, I just wanted to thank all of my family and friends who supported me throughout this past year. It was a very long process, and I can't thank our Democratic leadership and all the volunteers that helped me enough. My campaign team consisted of the most amazing group of people. They worked hard for me because they believed in me. This included my husband and my 3 sons. Of course, my 3 sons bailed, but my husband's still here. All going above and beyond, knocking on doors, talking to people, hearing their concerns. I also truly want to thank everyone that voted for me in November and came out for me again on March 22nd. This election truly proved that literally every vote counts. To the people that didn't vote for me, your voices are important to me as well. If we all focus on what's best for Oldbridge and not get caught up in distractions, then we all win. To my fellow council members, doing what's best for Oldbridge means working collaboratively with all of you, and I'm excited to roll up my sleeves and get to work. And I hope that I can count on you all to reciprocate that collaboration and embrace any ideas presented in a search for consensus. I understand that as a new council member, I have a lot to learn. I just hope that we all work to keep the lines of communication open, having inclusive discussions for the betterment of Oldbridge, which is what, of course, we were elected to do. Thank you very much.
Councilperson DePalma.
Yes, so this weekend was quite a busy weekend here in town. Soccer kicked off for both the girls and boys and girls leagues. So congratulations to all those folks. Good luck to all the coaches. I know I'm coaching 2 of my girls' teams, so good luck to all those folks that kind of give their time to the kids. Also on Saturday as well, the Oldbridge Rec had their first dance recital since the pandemic. It was a wonderful event. It's wonderful to see the kids come out, all ages from young all the way up to our seniors from our senior center. They all looked like they had a great time. It was a great sight to see that all those kids back together. So another great thing that happened in town as well was the SEPTA basketball game that happened yesterday. Unfortunately, I had a family event that I couldn't go to it, but from all intents and purposes, I see that it was an absolute wonderful event. And congratulations to SEPTA for bringing that team into play against the administration and some of the teachers. Also, in the next couple of weeks, the Healthy Kids Running Series is coming back for the spring. So I think some folks have heard me speak about that in the past. So folks, please take a look on their social media. They are having it. I believe it's a 6-week program starting in a couple of weeks. So if you are looking to participate in that, take a look at their social media site for more information. As always, everyone, please slow down. Please don't rush around. We all want to make sure that everybody's safe. As I'm sure everyone is tired of hearing me say this, I don't like to talk about the accidents that occur in any part of this town. So please take a moment, put your phones down. You heard on the consent agenda today was programs to kind of stop people from going out there with their phones and texting is going to be this program. So please put it down, pay attention. Let's not cause any accidents in town. And finally, April seems to be quite the month for religious holidays. So for our Muslim community, for everyone who celebrates Happy Ramadan, for our Jewish community, happy Passover holiday, and for our Catholic community. I hope you all have a happy Easter. I just hope that everyone enjoys the holidays and the precious time that they have with their family. So please, everyone enjoy, be safe, and happy holidays. Thank you.
Dr. Greenberg-Bellet.
Just want to wish everyone a happy Passover, happy Easter. Enjoy your family and friends, and reflect on what a special time of year this is. Thank you.
Councilperson Murphy.
Didn't like the comment Anita made a couple weeks ago, the political comment. The best thing that has happened in Oldbridge is Rizzoli is gone. I sat home with 3 Republicans rooting for him. He's a liar, and I'll talk about about being a cop and everything else. I will take a lie detector and everything. His campaign manager switched. He did not want Rizzoli running. He wanted him out. And I was with another person when we did that. He said, how many votes can your son get? I said, he can get at least 700. He got him 600 last time. And then I said, I'm not going to get my son involved in this, but he's a liar. Everything that the past councilman said about him was exactly right. So we got rid of, like I said, we got rid of if you know Rizzoli, you don't like Rizzoli. And that's the story.
Murphy?
I'm just glad he's gone and gone forever.
I know it's a council comment. I just caution you about, when you make comments as an elected official.
What can I say?
I said, I'm just cautioning you about making personal attacks against an individual,
Did you do
regarding.
anything when she made the comment about her?
Well, I don't think we should have a
Well, that's not
question
the-
and
I don't-
answer.
I don't
with the
recall
attorney,
when
so
it comes
Made a comment that,
let's stop.
Again,
that
just
said how bad she was. You couldn't trust her. You couldn't do this. Well, Rizzoli
I'm
is a
just,
liar. Even his campaign manager knows it.
I'm just
proved
saying, as an elected official, you're making the comments. I'm just cautioning.
Okay, I'm an elected official, and he's not.
Okay, that's all I'm
Thank
saying.
God. All right? I'm done. Well, I'm not done. There's more to come. Murphy has been woken up, and that's it. I've had enough. I almost came to death. I'm not done with what I have to do yet.
Councilperson Walker.
Can she get me?
Oh, and have a happy Easter.
I'm sorry.
We missed Garcia.
Councilperson Garcia.
I just have to follow up with Murphy's comments. I worked with Mark Rizzoli. Mark Rizzoli was a great cop. Mark Rizzoli is a great person. I know Mark personally. I worked with him 25 years. So for you to sit up here and embarrass him and talk bad about him is totally offline. It's my turn to speak.
People in Jersey City.
It is my turn to speak.
What he did to the people in Jersey
John.
City. He was horrible.
John, it's my turn to speak. I don't appreciate it. We're not here for those comments.
Well, we
Tax day. Thank you.
Okay, and now Mrs. Walker.
Councilperson Walker.
I want to wish everyone happy holidays as well. Also, I guess most of you are aware, we have 4 fire districts in Oldbridge, and they're always needing volunteers. So
She's right.
if anybody can give any of their time, or you know someone, please try to volunteer to keep the volunteers going.
It'll be Democrats.
And also, I know it's very late.
Shh, we're trying to listen.
But
It'll all be
I know I get a lot of questions from residents about different things. I was thinking maybe next meeting, it's very late now, we could possibly get an update on the Amboy 34 light, because people have been asking me a lot about that. And also an update on the progress of Cottrell Farm, because this is the things that people have been asking me. I mean, I know the answers, but I want the public to be told.
to
it.
know. Absolutely.
That's it. And once again, happy holidays.
Yep, and I'd like to wish everyone also a happy and healthy holidays, and hopefully, everybody will have a good time with their family and enjoy their days. So thank you very much. I'd like to ask now for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Before we do that, we had one housekeeping that we had to take care of. We are appointing someone, a council member, to the redevelopment agency, and I'd like a motion for that.
I'd like to nominate Kevin Garcia.
I'll second it.
Okay, so Mrs. Walker nominated him, and Dr. Greenberg-Belli did a second. So we'll vote on the appointment of Mr. Garcia to the redevelopment agency.
Councilperson DeCarroll?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes, I have to say yes.
You want to appoint yourself?
Keep going.
Dr. Greenberg-Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy? Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes. Now a motion to adjourn.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Walker, second by Mr. De Palma.
Councilperson DeCarroll?
Yes.
Councilperson De Palma?
Yes.
Councilperson Garcia?
Yes.
Councilperson Dr. Greenberg-Belli?
Yes.
Councilperson Murphy? Councilperson Walker?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes, yes. Good night, everyone. Thank you.